Fulcrum gives you the chance to build sections to your form, which gives the whole thing a bit more of a design, but also breaks up these longer forms so they're much easier for users to understand. I'm going to take a section and actually drag it into my design. And this section we'll call water. And we're going to associate specific fields just with the water section. So we're going to start with a label field so that we can add a load of text. So a load of text that describes what needs doing. So you can ramble on and on as much as you like on this. It's just a way of putting text into the section to instruct the user without them having to click on an information box which would pop up. Then I want to just have a simple text field, and this might be the condition. And then I want a single choice field, which is perhaps fuses. And we'll give the values here, which are blown, okay, tired. And then let's say I change my mind and I want to put the label at the bottom of the section. I can simply drag and drop it. Then perhaps I want another section, so I just create another section, drag it to the relevant place, not nested because this is a separate section, and this might be sewage work required. And then we will just have one field, but we'll make this a multiple choice. And in this case, this is, let's say, status. And we will specify that the options are, let's try not to be too graphic about this. So as before, let's go and look at our reflected iPhone to see the impact of what's going on. We'll synchronize the changes back to the iPhone, and we'll click on plus to pick up the additional fields. And as you can see now, we have a water and a sewage section where we could enter a condition. We can select on from the selection list on the fuses. We've got the description of the text below that. We've then got a status field, which in this case is a multi-value field, so I can put more than one option down in order to save it. Fulcrum has some more advanced fields, and we're going to edit our app to show the impact of those more advanced fields as well. The first is an address field. So if we drop that in, now that is address for work. That is a field which will be auto-populated by the geolocation on the mobile, as we'll see. The next is a hyperlink. So in this case, we'll say maybe you have some manuals associated with the work. Manual. I'm going to put in a default just to prove that this is working of msn.com. So that's my hyperlink. Then I'm going to want to put another numeric field on here, and we'll say that this numeric field is, let's say, non-chargeable work. You may recall we already have chargeable work. And I've put that on there because I want to show that there are calculations. This is really the simplest calculation I could imagine, but this might be total work. And this is an expression where I have access to an expression creator which has a number of variables, as you can see. In this case, we want chargeable hours plus non-chargeable hours. and we'll save that. So that's our total work field. I might want a barcode in there as well, and then the final thing is a classification field. These are really quite advanced possibilities for breaking up the way that you select data. So this might be classification, and I'm going to use a classification set that already exists, so one that I prepared earlier, and we'll see the impact of all of that in a moment. So I've now got all of the advanced fields that I want, so I'm going to save and exit. So I'm now synchronizing the iPhone again, and I can go in and add my item. In this case, I might have 2 hours of chargeable work. And then if we go down to the non-chargeable and put in 3 hours, you can see total work of 5. I can bring in a barcode, and if I select a scan, that will then read the barcode in. And then when it comes to a classification, you can see that I've got 3 particular options, maybe 3 different types of equipment. Within the car, it's a nested search, so I can go through to BMW, and within the BMW, I've got the possibility of an M3, whereas for the Audi, I've got the possibility of A4, A6. So you can, as a result, get to a very detailed classification value. The final thing is, you can see on the manuals, there's a big blocky manuals button. I click on that, and the system takes me through to the latest on MSN. You remember that was the site we actually chose. If you enjoyed this video, then please go on to the next one, which goes into detail on a really cool feature in Fulcrum about how to create lookup tables so you can mix your data and populate data from external systems. Also, feel free to check us out at topprioritysystems.com, and then all the usual social stuff. Please feel free to like the video itself, the channel, and subscribe to the channel itself.